So I have two short stories for you. The first one's called The Potato, Egg, and the Coffee Bean. A young woman went to her mother and told her about the problems she was facing in life. She said she was tired of fighting and struggling and didn't know how to keep going. The mother took her into the kitchen and filled 3 pots with water. She placed them on the burner and turned on the heat and put the potato in one, the egg in the second, and the coffee bean in the third. After a while, she turned the burners off and fished out the potato, the egg, and the coffee bean, and asked her daughter to observe them carefully. The potato was soft and had become very weak. The egg, which had been so fragile, now had hardened shell. But the coffee bean had transformed the water into a rich, aromatic coffee. The mother then explained that each of these had faced the same adversity, boiling water. However, each of them had reacted differently. The potato, when in strong, firm, and hard, but in the boiling water had become soft and weak. The egg had been fragile and with a thin outer shell, but with the boiling water had become hard inside. And the coffee bean, on the other hand, had changed the water and created something new. The mother explained that we all face adversity, and how we react to it is dependent upon us. We can either become weak, hard, or transform the situation into something positive. The woman realized that she had a choice to be like a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean. My second one is Life is like a cup of coffee. A group of people were sitting in a coffee house discussing life. As they talked, the conversation turned to the subject of life being like a cup of coffee. One person said, "Life is like a cup of coffee. It depends on how you make it." Another person said, "Yes, but you can't control the water temperature or the quality of the coffee bean." The third said, "But you can control the amount of coffee and the strength it brews." Then an older man who had been listening quietly to the conversation spoke up. He said, "Life is not like a cup of coffee, but it's the coffee cup that matters. The cup is what holds the coffee, and the shape of it is experience. And just like the cup, we need to focus on what's around us, what we have, and appreciate it." The group fell silent, pondering the old man's words. The lesson of the story is that, like a cup of coffee, life is what we make it. We can choose to focus on what we have and appreciate it, or we can choose to focus on the lack of discontent. Ultimately, a cup that holds our life experiences is what matters, not the coffee within it. Thank you.
You know, I was thinking about what I would talk about today, and we're encouraged a bit not to plan it all out. So I didn't. And I thought I was going to go in a certain direction, but I might shift it and I might be going in a direction in a different way also. So here we go. And let's imagine we're together, maybe planning a trip together, either as a group or you're on your own. And this is going to be a big trip. So it's one of those trips where you'll definitely have to make sure your passport is updated, and you would probably want to buy a round trip ticket versus a one-way ticket. And I invite you all to travel with me to the spirit world together just for a few moments. And Since I have been in this training program here at ISC, whether it's the mediumship program or the minstrel program, I've learned quite a bit about being a spiritualist and about the spirit world. So let's imagine right now that we're in the spirit world together and how it would be and what we might see, what we might feel, and who we might meet up with. And my sense, and I feel it now, and I hope you do too, I feel it kind of flush in my cheeks, is there is an enormous amount of love. I mean, love is dominant. It's almost as though we've taken a trip to the Caribbean together and you feel that sun warmth on your skin. That's the experience I want to share with all of you. And we have love here also on planet Earth, our spaceship Earth, but it's a little bit different in the spirit world because it's so dominant. And we're moving around, and you are free, as I will be free, because we have free will here in the spirit world as well as on planet Earth. You're free to move around and look at things and see people that you once knew on planet Earth and people you still know in the spirit world, souls that are thrilled to see you and greeting you with open arms and an abundance of love and welcoming you for this visit and sharing with you what they do in the spirit world, their joys, how they have been watching us and you and only want the best for all of us. And we can walk around, we can sit, we can commune, we can have fun, meet up with old friends, and they're doing beautifully. And just revel in that moment just for being in the spirit world. And yes, I did recommend that you buy a round trip ticket, at least this time round. And then I invite you to travel back after you've had your fair share of goodwill, of free will, of love, of joy, of reunion, and to come back to planet Earth. And what I invite you to do, and maybe even encourage you to do, is bring much of what you experience back with you to planet Earth, just as if you went on a trip abroad somewhere, maybe somewhere in Europe, and you're buying souvenirs and you bring them back with you. Because it's great to have memories, by the way, beautiful song. It's great to have memories of that. It's lovely to be able to make things tangible. And it's necessary, I feel, here on this planet Earth, because when we touch down back here, there is, of course, love, but it's not exclusively love. There are challenges. There are feelings of loneliness, of anger, of wishing I had certain things and I don't. Shalane, thank you for your reading, because maybe, just maybe, when we come back with that experience and those memories and things that are tactile, that we actually could feel it and touch it and hear it, we can start looking at our lives here on Earth prior to our next trip to the spirit world in a different way, in a way maybe where we don't have to feel an extreme amount of loneliness. You know, this Wednesday is Valentine's Day, and it is a day of love. But I know it's also a time when people can feel out and hurt and lonely. And I invite all of us here, no matter what situation you're in here on planet Earth, whether you are on your own, whether you are in partnership, whatever it is, to allow yourselves to have your hearts open with love on every day of the year, including a day like Wednesday. The thing about it is that we're human beings here on planet Earth, but we're also souls. We're souls here and we are souls up there. And as a soul, whether you are in relationship with another soul, God willing, you are in relationship with yourself, and you are beautiful. We all are beautiful. And to embrace yourselves and to appreciate yourselves, and you don't have to be perfect. Human beings aren't really supposed to be perfect. Human doings maybe are, but not human beings. And embrace yourself in your imperfection and having free will. And if you want to have love in your life in a different way on Wednesday to support yourself, broaden that. Broaden that. We all need to broaden that. It could be any kind of love that you bring into your hearts and into your minds to go out and about. If you love to go shopping, give that to yourselves. Treat yourselves. Buy yourself a special outfit. If you love to meet up with a friend, do that. Celebrate together. Talk about each other. Appreciate the moments, because the moments now that we have, the more you put into it now, the more beautiful the memories and the stronger they will be as time goes on. There are many, many different ways of love. It's through relationship with others. I love the word community. I'm growing to love this community the more I get involved and involved. But the word community has the word, I would call it come together unity. That's for me, community. And we can be together here. That's our free will. That's our choice. You can also go out for a walk in nature to bring love and appreciation, and being in a park and hugging a tree or splashing in the ocean water, being with an animal. I was the other night on my own. My wife was someplace else and I had finished dinner, and I turned on some fun music, and I swear I was dancing in my living room with my cat Jackson in my arms. And we had a spectacular moment together, and I really felt he was enjoying it, and I know I was, and it warmed my heart and it filled my heart with love. So I just want all of us to remember, or to consider, that love isn't only just for a few of us. No matter what our circumstances are, you will have love because you are love, because you are divine, because you are a soul. You're a soul here on earth. And the fortunate things for us who are spiritualists is we have an insider piece of information, which is we go on. We go on, whether we're here on earth or whether we're in the spirit world, we go on to have love, to evolve, to grow, to experience joy, and to keep your hearts open to that. No matter what challenges you may have experienced, you are deserving of love. There's no question about that. It's a matter of, if you're not potentially happy with your current situations, or you feel like you're missing some things in life, use your free will. Use your free will to allow yourself to go forward and consider making some changes that will support you. Here's an example of what I'm suggesting. For example, you have people in your life and you interact with them, but you're still not feeling quite complete. And what can be helpful is to check in with yourself prior to meeting with a person or a group, how you're feeling, and then you meet up with them. And then when you leave, whatever you're doing with them is complete, check in again. How are you feeling? And the idea is that hopefully we will have been uplifted because of belly laughs we shared together, or simply because there was someone who was in distress and we were able to help, or that we were in some kind of need and we were able to be soothed and comforted by a person that we trust and love. Those are the things to pay attention to, because after interacting in a situation that you feel depleted by, you might want to reconsider that kind of situation. And maybe you can't not get involved in that situation, but potentially you can get other situations in your life to be uplifting. And being uplifted is important. Another metaphor that I will share at this time is imagining a bucket, and this bucket has holes in it. And the bucket's got to have some kind of water in it. That's its role as a bucket. But with holes in it, the water, the faucet's got to stay on continually. Otherwise, it will become empty. And if the water is on nonstop continually, imagining the water as a type of energy that can truly become exhausting for an individual. You might have water in your bucket, but it's at a cost. It's an exhausting period. And that would be a metaphor for the situations where when they're completed, you're not feeling better, minimally neutral, but you're not feeling better. Now let's take that same bucket and let's plug those holes. And now let's put water in that bucket. You know what? You don't have to drain yourself and your energy to feel the filling up of the love. It's there and you can embrace it and enjoy it and thrive in it. It's something that just is, kind of like the container that holds the cup of coffee. I think love is, of all the things that I hear in life and I've heard in life up until now and continue to learn about life, love is number one. Love is number one. It's always there, even when you may feel lonely. You're never alone. You are surrounded by love. It might be learning to love yourselves a little more, myself included. And if we learn to love ourselves a little more, we could take the risk and open our hearts a little more. And if we open our hearts a little more and we take that risk, then we can potentially become bigger and better and greater recipients of the love that is all around us and flowing. We always talk, or frequently talk, every session, every meeting here, we talk about healing and the energy, and it's all over the place, no matter where you are. That's love too. So let's use our intention and our mindfulness this Wednesday, today, any day of the year, and in years to come. Let's use our intentions to love ourselves first and foremost, to work on that if you feel you don't have enough of it, to find people, to find communities that you can let go and trust and grow in and with. And then you will have memories of a lifetime. And then you will be able to have the joy that we all talk about. We should have joy. Maybe that's not that easy, but it gets easier if you allow yourself to embrace yourself. And I also recommend belly laughs are a good thing to have too. And when you go to the spirit world, ultimately, it won't seem like such a foreign land, huh? If we can start that, if we could initiate that here on earth, that we are divine, we are beautiful. Even if we don't do everything perfectly, it doesn't have to be. It's our intention. If your intention is about loving yourself and others and doing good and the best to your ability, and even sometimes not to the best of your ability, that is okay. We need a rest sometimes, and that's perfectly fine. But then we get to transition and go to the spirit world and continue in that direction, because it doesn't just stop here, our growth and our certainly not our ability to love, but we will just be going there. I imagine having a blast and reunion in a way that could be just beyond this world. So I want to leave you all with that message and those thoughts that each and every one of us here are glorious. and filled with love. And maybe sometimes you don't feel that way about yourselves or others. That's okay. Once again, we are human beings. But I promise you, that is what awaits all of us in the spirit world. So we could start it right here and right now. So I'll leave you with that. And I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.